Anyway,
Yeah.
hey guys, thanks for tuning in.
Hi.
My
We're
name's
back.
Nee,
I'm Mel.
and we are a bit of chaos.
Yeah, just a bit. A tad bit.
Midget.
Woo!
Another episode when I don't have my Invisalign in.
That's okay. Look at my braces, guys. Guys, I
Yeah, I
got
don't
my
know where they
eyebrows
are.
microbladed, if you can see.
Mel
It's
got her
starting to
eyebrows
peel. So
microbladed.
if you see little
Woo!
patches, that's what's going on. It's
Our
peeling.
cameras are not that.
No, you can see.
You can't see it that close.
That little piece right there. Watch when we actually put it on YouTube. I
I
bet you
like
I
the
can
smart
see it.
zoom. Well, I have no eyebrows on today, so I'm in my very much natural state. You're not getting too much more out of me
Ooh.
today.
Guys,
Hey
I just had
guys.
a birthday over the weekend, by the
Yes. Side note, Mel wouldn't send a picture for a birthday shout out, and I felt
I didn't have
uncomfortable.
any pictures.
Okay, but let me just explain. I did not want to use like an old photo of me and of Mel's because the only one I have is like I don't know if you remember this picture, but it was like you and you were like sitting like
Girl,
this
my
outside. I
go-to
think it was
pose.
like Club Aurora or something. I don't know.
Ew, I don't know. I don't remember that. You guys, I do not know how to pose. I just want everyone to know. I get very awkward as soon as I have to pose for a picture.
Well,
Literally
yeah.
over the weekend, I had the same pose in every picture, and I was taller than everyone, so I was like hands like on my knees.
All right.
Awkward, guys.
My hair was itching.
But yeah,
Woof, Jesus,
guys, I'm
sorry.
32. Who would have thought?
What's it feel like being 32?
You know, the same.
Honestly.
I feel like once you hit
Honestly.
30s, it was probably going to feel the same until probably 35. I
Yeah.
have that vibe. And 35 is going to feel different.
35 is like the golden year.
30 was such a good year for me that I'm like, that's going to be hard to top. But then people in their 40s say being 40 is amazing. So I'm like, it actually gets better with age. It does, but it doesn't. The responsibilities is like, but I will also say it gets to a point that you're also just thinking like none of this stuff really matters. So it gets better at the same time, but also stressful because it's like, oh, we're on our own without our parents.
Yeah, this is true. I feel like though, like I don't know, for me, I felt like 30 was old, and it wasn't until like I hit 30 when I was like, oh, like this isn't old at all. But like me approaching 30, I was like, I'm about to be 30, I'm old. Like it felt old because I felt like that's just how it was portrayed on like social media and things like that. But it wasn't
Hmm.
until I crossed over to like 30 talk did I realize, oh, 30s are actually lit.
Yeah. Even turning for a split second, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really 32. Like that sound like I vividly remember when my mom was 32, like vividly. And it's just one of them things like, dang, it's just me. Like I don't have kids. So I feel like I don't really have a lot to measure, really. I don't know. I don't like saying it like that, but it's weird to be single and not have kids when your mom had like my mom had three kids, and it's like dang, my life is so different from the person I grew up with. But also just being older, I feel like I just genuinely feel the most beautiful I've felt. Like I'm telling you, I look in the mirror and I'm like T. And I did not feel that in my 20s. I was like
Yeah.
very self-conscious, so I feel like it's just a confidence thing.
Funny that you say that because I actually was on my time hop and I saw a picture of me. And you could tell that I was young. I visibly looked younger, but I also looked very unattractive. Like I looked a hot mess express.
You think you looked unattractive or
No, I was unattractive. It was no
okay,
thinking.
okay.
I looked terrible. Like I just looked, I was very, very skinny.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't look happy, I don't think, in my
Yeah.
photos either. It was rough, but
It happened. And another thing is like the weight gains too that happen
yeah.
being in an older age. Like even right now, I feel like I need to lose like a good 5 pounds and I'll be like, oh yeah. Like right now, I'm a little on the chunkier side. And so I'm like, but I still feel good. But it's just like, I know if I drop 5 pounds, it's a wrap.
Yeah. I don't know though. Losing weight is tricky because you can't pinpoint where you're going to lose it from. You know what I mean? Like if you want to lose in a specific area, like I feel like it could get really really tricky when you want to
I
lose weight.
guess. I will say one thing about me, I always keep my same shape. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's body is different, but I feel like I always just, I know what I'm going to look like when I lose weight. Like, I really do just keep the same shape and get larger or bigger, but I'm
Yeah.
still the same shape genuinely, which I know that's not the same for everyone, but
Yeah.
okay. So I guess we can get to our first topic.
Okay.
Do you have any songs that are like one hit wonders
One hit wonders.
that you were like in
Well,
love
we
with?
talked about this briefly on the phone the other day.
Mr. Kingston?
Oh my God. You're way too beautiful, girl.
Girl, we literally were talking about it. That's how we even came up with the topic because I
Yeah.
told her how I had to run to my MySpace to put beautiful girls on my page. Like, run.
It was the beat for me. Do, 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 do,
And the
do,
video was like the
do,
old
do,
fashioned,
do.
like in the like ice cream shop, like
Yeah.
parlor type. I don't even know what that's called. Like back in the day, like thing.
That was a hit. Like
Yeah.
that was a classic. If you were born during that era, chef's kiss. Because you know,
Who
we were
else?
uh
Oh, something, something. That was another MySpace hit.
King. She did that one.
Woo! I had told you too that. Okay, are we getting copyrighted or what?
Copyright what?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Type.
No, but I was telling you too that me and Green were singing it on Snapchat and Green
Oh
sent it
Lord.
to her and she responded. She was so nice.
She's actually always on TikTok live a lot too. Singing.
Tanisha, girl. Oh, you know who else I was thinking about? And also, guys, this is no shade because y'all really had hits. Like, it's really no
It
shade.
better not be B5 because don't you come for my boys.
Oh no, but they were one hit
Okay.
wonders.
Excuse me? Because
They
Carnell be on
were.
TikTok living.
Who?
Don't play. Carnell. Don't make me share this screen and pull up that image.
Is like not obsessed with B5. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't.
That
What was it? It
teacher's
was
pet.
like
That
B5.
teacher's pet.
I don't know that song.
I said, hold on, miss, said, where you think you're going? Why? Because I
Is it
wanna
raining?
go
Okay.
to.
It just started downpouring. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Literally
It's been
downpouring.
raining here for a while.
But oh wait, mindless behavior. What
Oh
song?
my God. Girl. Yeah, mindless.
Oh, but I was thinking about Rich Boy, throw some D's.
I still be bumping that.
And now everyone playing the little snippets. So you be thinking that
Yeah.
even though he what's it called when you take a song from a sample,
Yeah.
but everyone's sampling it now. It's just too much.
It is a lot of samples in the music industry right now.
Who
But that song was
else?
about Rihanna. It really was. Amanda Perez was another one.
Oh,
She had Candy Kisses, which I feel like blew up, but nothing compares to God sent me an angel from the heavens above. I might
girl,
actually listen to that and go cry later.
I bought that CD on bootleg. I'm sorry, Amanda. I should have
Oh,
made
God, me an
that.
angel.
I literally used to play that, play
Repeat.
it out.
CD skipping and everything. Run it back.
Oh, remember when that girl Lumity had uh, yeah.
I
Girl.
really like Lumity. I actually really did.
Yeah, she
I
had a
really did. Do you
bop.
remember the S Club? It ain't
Oh,
no
S
party like
Club
the S Club.
7? Nay, ABC Family. I used to be in there watching that show. They was in that little, I think a red
Mm-hmm.
convertible. Why they had
S Club
seven
7.
people in that convertible? Was it seven of them? It had to be because it's
Yeah,
S
S
Club
Club
7.
7.
But why were they seven people in that car?
Girl, it was just a op. A photo op.
No, they had a show. They were riding in it.
I don't know. I think it was green screen era. Green screen era. They didn't need seatbelts. They wasn't getting
Can't
pulled over.
remember that. But I can't believe you remember S Club
Of
7.
course I do. I had their
No
CD with
one
their
else.
single. Remember when we used to buy CDs with singles with one song?
Yeah. They be
One
making
song.
vinyls like that too. I'm like,
You can.
what am I gonna do with that?
I have one vinyl like that. It is maybe it's Bobby Womack. like one of his random hits or something. But then I had ended up buying the album later at a
Yeah, because it's
thrift joint.
almost even getting EPs is almost like what
Yeah.
they gotta be cheap. I do have a Kiana Lede EP, but her song "Heavy," I I gotta play that sometimes.
Hey,
Okay, because I
sometimes
cried
you.
to that one
I was about to
time.
say sometimes you need a good
Girl,
cry.
you did that.
Sometimes you need a
You
good cry.
did
Which just brings me
that.
back to Shabuzi, Fire and Gasoline. Shabuzi, you're not a one hit wonder, baby. Don't ever take this anywhere. But
First of all,
but that's a
we
song that you need. That's
we
a song that when you need a good cry, that's the one.
we
I've started
literally know that to announce that he's not a one hit wonder is crazy.
because I don't want him to watch
That
this and be
man is
like,
literally top of the
I don't
charts.
want him to watch this and be like, they got me in the category with the one hit wonders.
He know that is not what we were talking about.
So
We
he be
even went
watching. Shabuzi, you be
to a
watching?
whole new topic.
No, we haven't gotten to our new topic
We
yet.
were. I was talking. We were talking about singles on vinyls, and Kiana Lede is not a one hit wonder. So, because don't get that twisted. That's my girl. She made it to my vinyl wall back
Hey,
there.
Kiana.
But because that album was amazing.
It was.
But
I feel like I want to hear Crazy tonight.
girl, I be
You
trying to play
listen.
amazing so I can like feel like uplifted. But
Well, I'm glad that we're talking about that because I was just talking to Mel about how on TikTok lately I've been seeing like conjure music, and I think that's how you say it or whatever. And everybody's like, your music is literally a spell. Like everything you sing is a spell. And I feel that heavily because, like, no shade to SZA, but when SZA released that like last album, not the one that she just released,
that's
but previously with like, I wish I was special, and like those,
SOS.
yes, yeah, SOS, and like all those like side girl songs, I would listen to them, but then I'm like, I don't want to sing this because I don't agree with that. Like, I want to
Yeah.
sing about what I agree with. So I
Hmm.
had a hard time like connecting to the album at first. Now I
Yeah.
can connect. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Conjure, like, I believe every song
Mhm.
truly can like be used as a source of like something. I feel like people do it, you know? They probably listen to songs on repeat and be like, yeah, I need this to come to fruition.
And I used to like not really think that was a thing.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I used to lecture Mel about it, be like, I can't listen to Rod Wave. It's just too much. Like, it just is something that I could not. That song, what was it called? We couldn't remember.
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Oh my God. Yeah, that one was too much for
Well,
me.
I was blasting that.
Yeah, but
Now
when you
looking
come to
back,
your senses, it's like,
yeah,
oh,
I
like,
turn it. But at the time, Rod, that was a bop. I just want you to know. He did
yeah,
his thing. It really is a good song. But the words is they scary.
the
Not when you
lyrics.
really think about it. But I will say, sometimes I like listening to sad music and I don't even necessarily feel sad, but it's just a moment. Sometimes I like listening to love songs. I'm not in love. Like it happens sometimes. It just
Yeah.
I sometimes I just want to sing.
Okay,
I
karaoke.
really
I mean, I listen to sad songs too if I'm not sad, but then I feel like it gets me like in deep thought or something, and I'd be like, all right, time to bring it
the
back.
only song what's the girl Leighton Green? What's her name? Leighton?
Yeah.
Yeah, she when that song Myself,
Yeah.
that was a heavy song for me. Like when I actually, that's probably like the only song that I listen to and I like go back to where I was at. Y'all, if y'all ain't never heard that song, put it on because it get me in my feelings.
It's
But
actually
that's
a
probably
very
like the
sad song.
yes, because I like felt every word she said. Like I was like she was speaking to my soul. But yeah, I don't
Yeah, that song is hurtful. I don't know if you guys listen to Leon Bridges. Shout out Leon Bridges because I actually really like him. But River,
Nee,
something about
I got
River.
I got the funniest thing to say about Leon Bridges. Nee.
What are you gonna say?
We might gotta bleep this out because he might come sue us. I'm
Leon?
explaining it to you.
Yeah. Well, not that. I was just gonna say like River by Leon Bridges is another song that I listen to. I listen to that a lot. Even if I'm not like in my mood, I listen to it and you know, it can be triggering, I think. I know one time I was like, "Oh, I love this song. Like, let me play this vinyl record for you." And I played it for a guy and he became very emotional because he was like, "When my grandfather passed away, like that was the song that came on the radio." He's like, and I downloaded and I listened to it on repeat and I was like, "I'm so sorry." But it is such a great
It
song.
is. And when
Just
I don't know the woman,
yeah, that
Meg,
song can be "Take Us to Church," Leon.
what you do?
Yeah, take us to church.
Okay.
Hallelujah. But yeah, I don't know. That's some
We should
Bapianas.
have saved our music episode for Green. That's what we should have done, like a all things music. But
Sorry, Green. Jump on here real quick. No, but another I wouldn't necessarily. I guess we could call him a one hit wonder, but he actually passed away. His life was tragically ended. It's Young Greatness, and he sings "All My Life I Hustle Just to Get That
yeah,
Moolah." I'm pretty sure that's his name, Young Greatness,
yeah.
and
Oh, I watched that thing on VH1 had a show like deep diving into like famous like black people that
mhm.
passed away.
I feel like I slightly remember
I
this.
didn't even know he had passed away, and I watched it. I was like, "Oh my
He
goodness!"
did. My god sister's husband was like a diehard fan. We used to listen to that joint
A
on
diehard
repeat,
fan
going to
is
the football games. Like that joint used to be on repeat. And then I was like, I really like this song. But he had another song too with this girl that was like viral on Vine. I forgot her name, like Sonya or something like that. And it was called In and Out, and that was a really good song. Like it was basically like a woman saying you're gonna either be here or there, but you're not gonna be in and out, like messing with these other girls. It was good.
okay. But speaking of like death, but when Mo3 passed, but when you used to sing in B, girl, wait, you said B was listening.
Uh,
You said B
if
was
y'all know I'm beating,
yeah,
y'all know.
that's a church woman.
They scared to come outside. B was like, yes, amen. One time I played Pride is the Devil for him, B by J. Cole, and B was like, yes, amen. I'm like, B, this is
Cussing
not
up
a
a
gospel
storm.
song.
Cussing up a storm.
Pride is the devil. That's all she heard. She was like, that's right, amen. I'm like, this is about to be a long ride to
Right.
get a oil
She
change,
hear
honey.
devil and it's like that's funny.
No, yeah. Was his name Mo 3 or was it just Mo?
I'm pretty sure people were saying Mo3.
Mm. Okay, Mo 3. Well, his song was a hit.
It
Him and
was.
Blueface Baby. That
I
was a
didn't listen to the
Bapiana.
one with Blueface, but
I fucked with Blueface a little bit
Blueface
during that
baby.
time.
Speaking of one hit wonders,
What was his song called
I
again?
don't, I don't know, but Cardi was on that remix.
Bust was it Bust
Oh
Down,
yeah,
Tatiana
yeah.
Bust Down? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, Blueface Baby.
Speaking of one hit wonders, that's funny. I'm glad I
But he
stopped hearing about him in the media. Thank goodness, because I ain't heard anything in a
well,
long.
Krishan like gave her life to Christ and
Bless her
I don't
heart.
I don't think she'd be like wilding out. I mean, now it's social media, so to speak, but
Bless her.
yeah. Yeah. You know, when you have a baby and you become a mom, like you drastically change. You don't have a choice but to change. I know that it's not always the same for men when they have a kid, but for like women, that's like I'm not being shady, I'm being so serious. Like as a mother, as the caretaker, as the person who gave birth, like you drastically change. I don't know how some women birth a
Yeah.
child and then
Yeah, because I'm like, I
go back
really
to being
don't
who they
have a
are.
child, but I cannot imagine like something coming out of my body and then like being such a detached mom. But I ain't gonna speak on it because I ain't a mom, but I just
It happens.
all the time.
Sometimes it happens from like a mental health point of view, like having like postpartum depression and stuff like that. I know
I
like
can
me
understand
personally,
that.
I had postpartum
Yeah.
depression. And that ain't no joke. But then in other cases it could just be like a situation where somebody birthed a child but didn't want a child and maybe didn't have the money, to
And they
go
making
the other
laws
route.
and
Yeah.
whatnot.
So,
Okay, so I guess I
but
can see.
yeah, but postpartum depression will make you disconnect from the world, like reality. It'll take you through the whirlwind, I'll tell you that.
That's scary.
Yeah. And a lot of mothers end up losing their children behind that. Like if they feel very like they'll take your children because they don't obviously don't want you to hurt yourself, but they also don't want you to hurt your child. And that actually leads us to well, it doesn't lead us to a segment, but it just leads me to saying like that's why a lot of women suffer in silence and they won't tell anybody that they may feel because you will lose your children over that. And
So
so the vulnerability
another
behind
thing,
it.
I feel like talking about postpartum depression has just became like a big topic probably within the last 5 years. Like, if that. And it's like funny to think about like
Our
the
parents.
generations way before us, and like they just had to suffer through. Actually they didn't even know what was going on. They just feeling sad and you got to work through it. It's just like a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah, and this is what leads us to emotionally unavailable parents, and specifically in this case, an emotionally unavailable mother that can then lead to a deep mother wound. Like, welcome to our lives. Love that for me. Love that for everyone who may have endured that. So,
Yeah, it's crazy to like people really have kids and don't want them, and they also just keep them and raise them, have multiple kids at that. It's not even like they have one kid, but they're really emotionally abusive parents. And they like I cannot fathom just having someone living with them and knowing they hate you, like they literally hate you. Scary.
yeah, it happens.
And
It really
then
does.
go around acting like they're the best mother and how they love their children.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. It's always mind blowing when I tell people I am, for the record, I'm 31 years old, and I can, God honest, tell you that 31 years of my life, I have never hugged my mom or told my mom, or my mom told me she loved me, and vice versa. Like, I'm grown. My dad either. I ain't never hugged that man, and I ain't never told him I loved him, and he ain't never told me he loved me. So I'm like, why did y'all have a kid? Grateful for my life, Lord, thank you, but like, what was your
But
reasoning?
on the other
Just
side,
screwing.
screwing. But on the other side of that, my mom isn't affectionate either at all. We don't say the only time, girl, when I think I went off to Guam, it was about to get on the airplane, we like hugged and she said I love you. And when I got dropped off to college. Like it is a
Yeah.
very minimum, very minimum. Like I can count that we like actually say I love you. Um But my mom shows her affection in other ways that, and not even necessarily saying it makes up for things, but I know my mom goes above and beyond, so it kind of works out. But just to say, black families just do not be saying I love you. Like even if they actually love you, like I know my mom loves me, but she didn't get affection from her mom, assuming
Yeah.
my grandma didn't get affection from her mom.
Yeah, just a cycle of generational trauma.
Yeah, and as far as my dad, like we that connection is just that I love you. That's
Today's Father's Day too. If you're watching, happy Father's Day.
like we cool, but it's just like
Something about dads. I mean, I'm being honest, and like I have a dad. My dad lives what, 15 minutes from my house, 10 minutes from my house. But my issue with my dad is I am 31 years old. You can tell your family that I exist now. I don't think you should have to keep me a secret any longer. I've been on this earth for 31 years. Do you think I should know my other side of my family? I go to church in the DMV. Imagine me being in church, meeting this guy, falling in love, and I go to, a family reunion or something, and he's like, I want you to be my family, and it's my dad's family. Like, you should be willing to tell me, especially considering where I go to church. It's right in my dad's neighborhood, And I remember doing a family tree in 10th grade with Miss Runyon, and I remember I needed to know my information, so my mom was like, text your dad and ask your dad about your brother. So I text him like, "Hey, do I have a brother?" And crickets, no response. I'm like, I know damn what I got my text message. So then from there, I messaged this guy on Facebook. My mom told me my brother's name, so I looked him up. He looked like my daddy in the picture. And in fact, I knew it was him because he had photos with my dad on motorcycles. So I already knew it was him. And I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, my name's such and such. I think we're siblings. My dad's name is such and such from this area. Can you confirm, is that your dad?" And then he messaged me back like 3 days later and was like, my dad said I didn't have a sister. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so my family tree was missing a whole side. And for my mom's side, I only had but so many siblings because for some reason our family history is so secretive. And so, yeah, I never finished it. And so, I got older and stuff and got on ancestry.com, put the pieces together, looked up last names, went on Facebook, searched those last names, figured out who those people were and their association with my father, and kind of like figured it out that way. But I'm just too grown. Like, you had a child. Okay, you had a love child. You was doing something you shouldn't have been doing, but now I'm here. What you gonna do? Put me back 31 years later? Like, something about that just doesn't sit right with me. So I made the conscious decision to just stop speaking to him.
And y'all
Sorry.
know I said in the episode earlier, Nee can cut family members.
You had 31 years to get it
And
together.
I
Actually,
mean,
you had 30.
but also when you talk about your like mom side of the family, like I didn't even realize like you'll say something about like an aunt or cousin now, and we've been best friends, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize you had that many family members because it really just seems like it was like you and your aunt B. I was like,
No, like,
even when you bring up people, I'm like, where did they come from? Is this a thing?
no, I actually have a lot of cousins and things like that. They don't live here. A lot of my mom's siblings like left. There's only a handful of them that still live around here. And we're just not a close knit family. Sorry, my dog's right here. One second. We're just not a close knit family, so I feel like there's a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle. And I can like very vividly remember using ancestry.com to like try and gather information about my family, my mom's side of the family. And like I went in the room and like showed her a picture or something of this lady and I was like, "Mom, is she related to us?" She was like, "I don't know why you're so infatuated with getting information," and like went off. And then I was like, I forgot. I asked her something else about somebody and she just like exploded and I was like, all right. So then you know me, I'm like, I'm just gonna ask Mom B. And Mom B's like the youngest, so she's doesn't really remember so much, but or too much. But yeah, I think it's weird. I think it's important to know your family line and what all your family has dealt with. Not even like just like life circumstances, but also like diseases, mental health issues. Like this all stems from somewhere. A lot of it is genetics, you know?
Literally, they don't know what that is. Quite.
Yeah, like why are we being weird? Yeah.
And once again, it goes back to we were literally slaves. Like, I can't. Like I can't even imagine like the trauma of being a slave, and that it really was not that long ago. So just it's nothing else to say about it. Like that's literally
There's no way to erase the
yes.
trauma.
And then I don't want to keep on going down this page, but it just pisses me off that they act like they don't know why people have certain like traits and whatnot. Y'all are smart as fuck. Y'all know what went on. Stop playing in our faces. Like, literally. But I digress. I don't want to go back down that topic. But it literally pisses me off that they just act, why do y'all act like that? Why are black people so scary? Like, why are they always so aggressive? Like, stop playing.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Also, just thinking too, like, I know that just like the trauma that comes from slavery clearly impacted our ancestors, which then impacted our mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers and all that jazz. But just knowing like that they didn't have mental health services available to like help work things out because it just didn't exist then. But not only that, now that it does exist and they kind of just felt like it's okay. You know what I mean? Like just whatever they endured is okay and we don't have to work it out and that's white people stuff. I don't know. That's classic in a black household. I feel like whenever you try to talk about mental health, like we're not like them white people. I'm like, why I
Even,
gotta be white? Trauma is trauma and it
but
ain't got no race.
just to not discuss things. Like, I feel like even getting to the point of discussing things helps a lot, but that's not an option.
Because we don't talk in black households. Like a lot of times, I mean, I didn't grow up with a black dad, so there's that. I grew up with a white man in my home. My mom dated a white man, and I remember we used to sit down at the dinner table and have a conversation and go on these family trips, and it was very family oriented. I enjoyed that, but like having a black man in the house, black men don't talk. They just moody. Like I don't. I'm being for real when I say it. Like old crabs, just don't talk, mute. Yeah, right. I mean, like it's just that constant like I don't know aggression that is displayed towards us for even just like existing in their space. It is very, very strange, and I don't know. I don't understand how some people tolerate it. Like even growing up and going to one of my friends' houses, I remember when she's like, "My dad's home. He's watching TV. We have to be quiet." Why? we're kids. Like, why does the house have to be quiet and sit down because your dad's home? I don't know. It just never sat right with me. But something about their just anger and not wanting to talk about anything is weird to me.
Yeah. And I mean, I had different men like in our lives clearly. Like my mom dated a few different men and it wasn't bad. Like even my brother's dad, he was more like wanted things. I understand now how he was trying to raise us because my mom really was raising us to be really soft and not know anything. Because I don't even
Yeah.
know if I told you guys, like, my mom, she did everything for us. Like, we didn't have to wash a dish, we did not make our bed, like, she did our laundry. Like, it's funny, I went to her house this weekend and my sister gets up to, she had to run to the store. My mom went and made her bed. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth. By the time I came back, my bed was made. And that shit is still funny that she do that shit. But yeah, so my brother's dad kind of was like more strict with us, and we're just like, oh my goodness, he's so mean because we had like no structure. Like my mom just let us do whatever, and like now I understand where he was coming from, and it makes sense. But I will say, even when my mom was single, we sat at the table a lot. Now we didn't talk about in-depth things. It wasn't like come home and talk about what happened in school. But we sat at the table and talked. We weren't like a family that was like everyone scatters to their room. We did at times, like, especially like when gaming systems became a thing, we were like scattered into the games or whatever. But it still was not a bad vibe. And sometimes we still ate, especially like if my mom would like go get takeout or something. That's when we really would sit at the table. But it's different dynamics for folks, but I will say, like, even how you said your mom like attracted like the angry black men or whatever, your mom was like very angry, like just in her. So that's what you attract. And like now being older, I'm like, oh, that's what you really attract. Like how you put yourself off is like what you attract in your life, which is like, I know I got something I need to work on with me because I am not attracting what I need to attract.
Yeah, it is real. Like, yeah, no. Everything's like a trauma bond, I think. And I think I've said it before, it's okay, but you both have to be willing to work through your trauma bond because if one person seeks healing and the other person doesn't, your relationship will go downhill. Like I know for me, my mom is very much emotionally unavailable. Like I'm not questioning that. I'm telling you right now, I know that. And so I naturally attract emotionally unavailable men. That hot and cold is like, oh, familiarity to me. Like I need that because that's familiar. That's all I know. That's what I was raised in was hot and cold 24 damn 7. And so now when I have a man that's hot and cold, I've told one of my previous partners before, I was like, when you go hot and cold, I like in my brain see my 6-year-old self like, why is my mom mad at me? Like, and he really was like, no, you're probably crazy in his brain. But I'm like, no, like that's what it triggers. It actually triggers my inner child. Like, no, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good because I literally, it's like a vision just like takes over. I can't express it. And it's like 6-year-old me on my bed, like, well, why is my mom mad at me? Like it just things that I shouldn't even have had to question because I'm a child and you can't, no matter how you try to teach a child, to understand like, oh, I had a bad day or whatever. Children cannot rationalize things like that. So,
But do you
you
feel
know,
like it makes you want to keep dating the person because it feels familiar, or are you like, oh, I need to cut this off because this person is bringing trauma?
well, it's not, you don't experience it immediately because in the beginning, it's like you're blinded. So it's like you don't see it in the beginning essentially because it's so familiar until that person like truly shows they're hot and cold, you won't realize it until later. And like I know for me, like I was functioning and thriving and I guess in trauma, and then like one day, I'd say like maybe a month after my TBI or two, I started to realize something was wrong with me, and I was like, something is not right in my brain. And that's when I started to really see like a heavy sense of like my childhood self like struggling. I'm telling you, like I would have probably still thought I was going to be functioning looking back at like 28-year-old me, 29-year-old me. I'd be like, oh no, I'm fine. Because I knew how to suppress and keep going. But then when I'm telling you, like, after turning 30 and then getting hit in the head and I don't know, something about when that anxiety level increased and all those issues that I had following that, like I could not, nothing, there was nothing I could suppress. Even now, like I know in therapy they call it flooding. I flood daily. I would cry daily, multiple times a day. I'm pretty sure like people be like, what is wrong with that girl? It's like something that I can't, it's uncontrollable at this point. And so, yeah, I don't know. I probably would have. I feel like if I would have never gotten hit in the head, I probably would have just like been like, "Oh, it's okay." I probably would have never thought twice about my mom being hot and cold because I probably would never went to therapy for it. Honestly, let's be real.
What's funny? It's like to get to the same spot, but have different paths because
Yeah,
everyone know my journey of like when I smoked or whatever. But it's literally what you just said. My
yeah,
childhood flashed
it
before my
is.
eyes, and it was just like, oh. Like I'm telling you, it's the scariest thing in the world, but it's just funny, like
No, like
uh
it is really scary.
it
Like
is
even
scary.
after getting a TBI, I started to like have a vision and put two and two together, and then like I had to have a hard conversation with my sister about some things that I remembered from being a child, but it was like I didn't remember any of that previously, and I'm not kidding. I genuinely
No,
did
I
not
believe
remember
you.
it, and I remember like talking to my previous partner, was like, I feel like I remember something like, and he probably was like, this is crazy, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like I dead ass was in there crying all the time, and I'm like, something's not right in my brain. Like I feel like I'm remembering things that I don't necessarily know if they happened, but I'm almost positive they happened. And so then it started to like click, and I'm like, oh, but you really do suppress things for so long that you just by the time you try to add something else to your luggage, you can't zip it. It's too far, too gone. Like it's not going to close. Everything's just going to spill out. And so I think that's just what happened to me. And so, yeah, no,
And I'm telling you, I do feel like it's one of them journeys that you just need some space with.
yeah,
You genuinely need to relearn yourself. And like you had a partner going through that. I
yeah,
cannot imagine having anyone in my space when I was going through, like, cause like you, I was going through my apartment, like just crying, not even necessarily sad, but like tears of realizing and being like, oh my goodness, like
yeah,
the happy tears, some sad. Like, I remember when I started to put myself in different people's shoes that I like encountered in my life. I kind of still do that a lot and like think about their lives, and I'm like, they went through that. Oh my goodness. Like, cause I did that with my mom. That was probably like the heaviest one that I'm just like, oh my goodness.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy path. It's so crazy.
It is. And just the way that trauma impacts people in general, because you never know how it's going to impact somebody. Some people may be able to process it very easily, and keep going and grow from it, and then there are other people who are truly impacted that can't move forward past a certain situation, and there are some people who choose the other way out, and choose to unalive themselves, like they just can't move on from that. And so, yeah, I know.
Cause I
I
re-
know for me, like, it's a very heavy topic, especially like growing up. I feel like it was so like frowned upon, especially in the black community. My mom had a friend whose partner either their partner either left them or was like it was around the time when you had like them cheap little like Nokia phones, them big old phones or
yeah,
whatever.
I was playing Snake.
Um Yeah, girl, yeah, Snake. Those phones. Anyway, his partner ended up leaving him in some sort of way, whether it was infidelity or not. And he actually pulled into his mother's driveway and chose to unalive himself in his mother's driveway. And I remember my mom was trying to explain to me. I was so young, and I could like see myself. Oh, sorry. I could see myself like riding around the beach, and my mom telling me about it like as a kid. And I was like, "But why did he do that?" And she was like, "He'd passed away." And as a kid, you don't understand, but as an adult, I'm like, "Oh, like." he was pushed to the edge. Like he felt like he could not go on. You know what I mean? And I feel like people are so quick to judge when somebody feels that way. And it's so frowned upon. But at the end of the day, you don't know what people are battling internally. Like what I tell you is not everything. Just
Yeah.
because I tell you, oh, I'm dealing with this, and this, and you feel the need to judge me as an individual because I feel like I can't go on, you're a sick individual because I may not tell you everything that I'm battling. And honestly, I can't tell you everything I'm battling because you've now shown me that you're not a safe space. You know what I mean? And so those type of things really are sensitive to me because I feel like people are so quick to frown upon situations like that when in all actuality, you should really just be a listening ear and a friend. And I really despise people who leave people at their lowest. Because at one point in time you also had your lowest, and people stuck around for you. You know what I mean? And I call those people selfish friends. Like I had a friend like that, and just always in need 24/7, always needed a listening ear,
Girl.
complaining about work, complaining about this, complaining about that, complaining about your friends, complaining about your coworkers. And though it might not as been as deep as like some of my issues, when it was my turn, it was like, well, we won't be speaking again. You know what I mean? Just like leave me to just handle it on my own. So I despise people like that. That's selfish, and what goes around comes around. So that's the best advice I got for that. But yeah, no.
But I also, just to touch on that, I do think it's important to know when you really do, and not even saying this is your situation, but like when you need to step away from someone and literally
Yeah,
heal yourself, because a breakup can spiral you down.
it can.
And like, to already, like I said, like thinking about where I was at over the year, getting myself together and like dealing with work, dealing with school, and then like the heavy mental load of
Yeah.
like childhood memories, I couldn't imagine a heartbreak. Like,
Yes. It's the
but
a heartbreak will make you lose some pounds.
yeah, but even like when the guy really liked me, when I was like going through everything, I knew I could not go there like mentally though, because I'm like, I actually need to work on myself. It was like so chaotic that like a guy wanted to hang out with me while I'm like, I actually need this weekend to lay on the couch. And
See, if you're watching, he probably watching. He's like,
but I'm
wait, she
glad
needs
he
to be.
would know because he genuinely was very nice. And I couldn't
Yeah.
I could not, like, it was like so irritating to really need some time to myself. Like, and that's why when some people are serial daters, I cannot get behind that. Maybe when you're younger, but when you get older, there is no way. You need to sit with yourself for sure to learn yourself. First of all, after a breakup, you become a new person. You start looking at
Indeed, you
things
do.
differently, like, oh, they did this to me. That kind of changed how I think. I did this to them. So that changed how, like, it's very important to really be in touch with yourself. And some people are afraid of themselves. They really
Uh,
are.
Don't get me started,
Okay.
please. Thank you. Because I will.
Because I genuinely find it really peaceful to figure out who you are. And I know there's a big thing like when people talk about ego deaths and everything and like just being a new version of yourself, but I know it's a lot of topic of like your ego never dies, like it might evolve or whatever, because I will say that's like one of the things I work on is like controlling my ego. But I have gone very far with like not caring what people think, like even kind of being like the weird one in my family of them not understanding and just being like, it's my life. You guys do not support me in any type of way. Y'all actually low key haters. Like if we really, really talking, and it's like something in them wants what you have, and you just like can't even feed into like why you doing that, this and that, and like when people are really like, you don't have a man. Like one of my cousins was like, what you up there cooking for a man? Because I was getting compliments that my food was good. Why the fuck do I need to be cooking for a man because my food is good? And like, if and some people probably look at like me not having a man as like a piece of a puzzle that like I don't have my life together, and I'm just like, the way I'm not looking for a man, the way I'm not looking to be stressed is wild. But
Yeah,
like
heavy
in
on
their
stress.
eyes, they're like, you're 32 now. You should be married and have 3 kids by now. And I'm like, that's not my goal. It's just not. But I don't know how we got on that from what we were talking about, but
It's okay.
guess I had to get it off my chest.
Shout out
Thanks.
to the family members that watch.
Yo, they really gonna be watching this episode anyway. Like,
Yeah, girl.
I
They
wasn't
always
talking
do.
about my immediate family either, by the way.
They know who we
Yeah.
talking about. Oh yeah, I feel like that's. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What were we just?
We were talking about families, but I feel like we was wrapping it
Yeah.
up though.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, but me. I forgot what we talked
Oh, we're
about.
gonna have
Oh
to
my.
put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode because you talk
Yeah,
about,
probably.
well, unaliving. So we actually have to.
Also, something else while I was thinking about it too. I know, like in the Christian community, like um unaliving yourself is like such a terrible thing. They portray it as such a terrible thing. And some people say it's because, and not that I agree with this, but some people are like, it's because you beat God at his own game. Like you take your life before he can take yours. You know what I mean? Like you beat him to his, divine timing type deal. And so I know that it's very much frowned upon. But then I saw this, or I read this blog one time that this man had released, and he had wrote a prayer to the Lord, like wrote on a piece of paper, and he had basically told God on this prayer note why like he felt like he couldn't go on, and why he felt like life was just too hard, and how everybody else around him just had it so much more easier, but yet his life was such turmoil, and he was like, I can't do this anymore, and so I'm asking for your forgiveness right now before I do this. And he had told God that he knew that he was a child of God, and he believed that the Jesus Christ died on the cross for his sins, and I gave like this whole thing about his salvation. And he's like, but God, I just can't go on anymore. And so I feel the need to do this, but I asked for forgiveness, and he repented for it, but then still unalived himself. And it was this little note or whatever was passed around within like by pastors, like kind of giving their, like their insight on it. And I was really amazed to see that some pastors felt like the Lord would have more than likely forgiven him because he repented of the action that he knew that he was going to commit. But yeah, it's very funny how they have that mindset of like doing something like that is like automatic automatic pass to hell. You know what I mean? And nowhere else but hell. You
Yeah.
know?
Even on the subject of unaliving, um getting older, it's like one of the things that when I was younger, it would just be like, oh, they was going through some stuff, must have got real tough for them. But you kind of just like shrug and go on, like if it's one of the things that don't affect you. But like
Yeah.
now being older and like realizing you're in this cycle of capitalism and like there's no way to get out. You are like a hamster on a wheel for the
Yeah.
rest of your life. And I'm literally like, I fully understand. You don't want to play the
Why
game
people
no
do it.
more. You do not want to play the game. I'm like, older people were telling us this stuff, and I'm like, y'all didn't realize what's going on. The older generation actually pisses me off a little. I'm not going to hold you. But like, to really be upset and act like you can't understand. And I'm like, I'm 32, freshly 32. Y'all telling me y'all didn't understand why people was going through that? Because I'm like, we are really going in this cycle of like, I genuinely feel like I'm leaning towards never wanting kids because I'm like, the capitalistic cycle is crazy. And I'm like, do I want to have a child and make them be born into this world and have to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week to be in poverty? Like, I don't even know like how that's supposed to work. Then to pop out, people popping out 6 kids and over here living in freaking 2 bedroom apartments and like they're not catching on. And I'm like, you're contributing to this problem. And it's like, they're like, well, I take care of my kids. You actually don't. You put a roof over their head, and that is not like, I know a lot of people believe as long as you can put a roof over your kid's head that's all you need to do. It's really not. You actually need to like go home, teach your kids, each and every one of them. So before you pop out 6 kids, you probably want to make sure you can like actually go help them with each one of them with their homework every night.
But the problem is the people who are popping out these
They
large
don't
amounts of
understand.
kids, they don't have the mental capacity to even handle something like that. Like 9 times out of 10, that individual probably is struggling to read. That individual probably struggles to like count money. You know what I mean? Like I can very vividly think about an individual in my brain who had a child and could not even properly wash her area. Like you should not even be engaging in anything.
And I know,
And it's just like we turn a blind eye. Like,
yeah.
what do you mean? Like, help this baby out.
And I also seen a thing at one point they were talking about like people naming their kids and like how a lot of their names like literally don't make sense. Like just saying it says something that it genuinely that's not nowhere you can't pronounce it that way, but they just are like, and I don't understand. But it's like they genuinely don't know and they're like, "Oh, this is a cute name." And it's like, "We just gave you a lifetime of mispronounced names, like a lifetime." But yeah,
When it get too crazy with the name,
cause what?
I remember my mom was like, "You should do the syllables like how I did y'all's syllables."
And it ain't just black people either. If I don't
Because
even
I'm like,
want
I'm
people
not
to think
doing that.
that's what we saying
That's
either, cause it ain't just black people. But because trust and believe. But yeah,
yeah,
it
no.
gets to a point.
I also saw this thing not that long ago too, and be like, y'all be out here clowning celebrities when they tell you their child's name. Like they be like, my child's name is Trash Can, and y'all be clowning them whole time. They be lying to us. That is not their child's real name. They hide that information from us. Isn't that crazy?
I never even thought about that, but that's smart
When they be having them crazy
because
names,
they
and they're
really
like,
do be having some crazy names. That's
and they're like, that's not their
funny.
child's name. They hide their identities from us so that we can't, search them or whatever. But I'm like, I should
Mm,
start doing that.
right.
Everybody already know Ken's. She well known, but
Yeah, at this point. But you're
yeah,
also
but
not like a freaking Beyonce.
that's another thing too. Like when, since we're talking about black families and white families and all the families,
Just
the
family.
level of ignorance when it comes to like birth, when it comes to a child, I know for me, like I knew I wanted to breastfeed. That was something that was important to me. I wanted to try it at least and see how successful I could have gotten, and it was like so frowned upon. And I'm like, but why? And, it all went back to slavery and how we used to feed our slave masters' children on our bosoms and, whatever the case may be. And so I remembered it was very frowned upon for me to like want to breastfeed my child. And I was like, well, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna force formula on her as soon as she comes out the womb. Sorry, I'm just not doing it. And then I remember when I first had her, and I didn't want any pictures of her to be posted on social media. I barely posted pictures during my pregnancy, and I mean, I barely use social media as it is now, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, that's not unusual for me not to post. And so I was like, yeah, I don't want anyone to post a picture of my child. Respect my boundaries. And lo and behold, typical, not respecting the boundaries and immediately posting a picture of my child. And I'm like, I did not ask. I asked you specifically, like, not to do that, and having to call a family member and being like, delete the photo. And it's like, oh, this being dramatic and just being trying to be above everybody else. And it's like, no, I just want you to respect my boundary. Like that's it. Don't think I'm better than anyone else.
Yeah.
No, none of that. But I specifically asked you like not to post. I didn't even post when I went into labor, like some people be posting their lives. In labor, water broke, 3 centimeters dilate.
Yeah.
That was not me.
That's back when Twitter was like popping to like
Girl,
tweet
but
your
they be doing it on Facebook too.
Facebook's a bit much, but Twitter, that's what Twitter was for.
Twitter was
Like,
for that.
Rise
I
and
think that was so
grind
dumb. In the grocery store, at the grocery store, just
into the
seeing that
berg.
girl going to the mall.
Literally wanting the guy to see that pose, like, but
Daily tweet, God is good. Just woke up. Like,
daily
why were we like that?
tweet.
Daily tweet. Sub, what was it? Subtweet? Girl on that subtweet and flirting.
Girl, would they be like, money don't sleep, so I gotta stay
Girl.
up? Like, what?
Shout out to the Twitter days.
But yes, you're that is a big thing. I feel like people want to be seen, and I mean at a point in my life like I wanted to be seen, but now I'm like I post like memes on my story. Like I'm just getting into the point where I have a dumb thought in my mind and I'll actually put it on my story, but my page not public, so ain't nobody seeing that. And people actually be interacting with me. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm like,
Y'all, I used to tell Mel, I used to record videos of myself talking about, like, you're so weird. And I'm
yeah,
like, it's not weird. Like, it's
it was so
normal.
cringy. But now that I'm older and don't care what people think, I'm literally like, oh, this is nothing. Oh, young me was like, really like, how would this be perceived? This and that. Now I'm like, I get on there looking raggedy. I'm laid on the couch, look like I got a double chin. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah,
People don't care.
yeah,
At the with the state of the world, nobody should be worried about anything. I don't know how we gonna survive.
yeah.
Just
Because,
that's all we need to care
capitalism.
about. Yeah. Like,
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Why? Um,
why?
tell them that
Tell them that
it's
it's human nature.
timing was off.
Wait, that she. Wait.
I literally used to sing that to
Yeah, every time. Every time somebody say something and be like, why? Mel be like, why?
you
Better.
guys. Well, guys, we started rambling before we did our sign off, so this will probably be a random cut, but signing off.
Sorry. But the chaos never ends.
Bye, you guys.
Until next week. Hey guys, just a reminder, we are going to take a break, a little bit of a break. We have some big things coming
Big
up, and
things
so
popping.
and little things.
Shout out to Ti. Was not a one hit wonder. Okay, bring them out. Bring them out. It's
Okay.
hard to yeah.
Okay, but you know that song? You can have whatever you like.
Hey. Yo, when they said it say, I want Joe Biden, need Joe
Okay.
Biden.
Not Joe
Yo, it really do sound
Biden.
like that.
It
But
do.
what you know about that?
Yeah, he actually was a hit. He
Yes.
was a hit. I told y'all I got his towel in my room
I
somewhere
forgot.
in one of them boxes, his sweaty
But
towel.
oh, when Live in the Sky came out, I was crying.
Oh, that song breaks my
Yeah.
heart. Life's ups and
Hey.
downs. I actually might listen to that
What's the
tonight. Let me
joint
add it
with
to my playlist.
Rihanna? Ba-da-dee.
You're gonna be. I actually know how to play that on piano. I might bring out my piano next episode. So live your life.
It's the accent for me.
Y'all know that song, Man Down? I didn't mean to kill his wife. I know
Okay.
it wasn't right. I
Because
can't even sleep at night. Can get it. But
I
okay,
play
so
that
that
song
song used to
down.
put me in like a scary mood.
Yeah, because it was really like in the video,
Oh,
red hair.
I just shot a man
Wait, I don't
down
think you can do
in
that
Central
hand motion.
Station in front of a big old crowd. If Rihanna could do the video on TV and I can't do this, and she on YouTube, discrimination.
But red hair,
That and better have my money.
you already know that was the bug days.
Better have my money.
Hey, that was actually a bop.
Bapiana.
You know she made that because
Like,
someone owed her money for real.
somebody owe me money too.
So sing the song. Okay.
Hope they watch him. You know who you are.
Who don't need money? Get her money, please.
You know
Please.
who you are.
Get her money.
Don't you worry.
Okay, give me her.
What goes around, comes around, goes back around again. Is that a song? Karma? Ain't there a song that's like what goes around
Justin
comes around?
Timberlake, yeah, but
Yes.
the ending was scaring me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That and there was another song too. I told you you better stay prayed
oh,
up. You never thought
Okay,
the
Summer Walker.
universe be looking for revenge. Love that song.
Knee's getting
One of my
scary. Can
favorites.
we sign off?
Always been
Yeah,
scary.
I'm scared. Actually a little terrified.
Good, you ought to be. Everybody ought to be scared. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Okay, yeah, let's hang up. We're scaring our people. Our listeners are very.
Girl, all our listeners are local. These people know how we act in real life.
First of all, they probably like, I didn't know they talk like that. I actually do feel like people wanted a glimpse of our friendship. You know how when some people don't necessarily have close friends, like they might hang out with people, but they don't actually have a bond with people. I do feel like some people are interested in just how we talk to each other. Like this is new for some people. I know some people have friendships like this.
We had M&A for those y'all who remember.
Snapchat days.
M&A, yeah, M&A on Snapchat was pretty real. I feel like that was like a
It was
reality
the
TV show.
adventures of M&A. Yeah,
It was The Adventures of M&A, and I feel like that was like a true glimpse in our life. And like
true.
during that time, Mel was very much still innocent, but like brought me into the party life. And like I was just always silly like 24/7, and I didn't drink or anything, so I always had like a natural high, and like we would just be being dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
we were young.
I am like very innocent in general, but like I'm a partier. But I'm not
Yeah, that
like,
was like my first time. I was like, guys, I'm at a party, M&A. Like I hadn't even been to a party. I didn't even
yeah,
know.
it's like that's like I can be wild in that nature, but like other than that, I'm really not a crazy like person. Like I ain't never been in no fight, like anything like that. See,
Hey,
now,
that would be me.
yeah,
That would
why
be
do you be acting
me.
like Melissa just made me such a crazy person? Neither crazy one. So get it straight.
No, and I don't. And for the record, let me clear the era. Let me clear the era. For the record, I don't. I don't. Wouldn't be out here just fighting.
No,
Y'all know
no,
how
no, no. But back in the
some
day,
girls be at parties just be fighting. I'm gonna put my hands on you if you try me. Like I'm not an issue. I'm very much to myself and quiet. But when people play with me, just don't play with me. That's all you gotta do. Just what I tell you, you don't the when the luggage is full and y'all try to add something else to the bag, people just explode. That's
yeah,
me.
because I think
Hello.
I've only ever popped off on like I was talking to. Like I don't think I've ever like got in an argument with like an actual
Mm-mm.
woman or anything. Like it's always been like men. I think that's the only time I even raised my voice because half the time when women are arguing, the anger is misdirected. It's
Yeah.
most of the time. Sometimes women weird. Let's be real.
Actually never fought a girl like over a man. Anytime that I was having issues with women, it was 9 times out of 10 because of my cousin. He an only child. So he'd be like, Nee, they do stuff to my cousin. I'd be like, okay, I'll go get him.
Yeah.
And so I'd just go get him. But it wouldn't be just because I was out here like wilding out over men. No, when somebody did something let Dion tell me somebody did something.
Yeah.
Girl, I got ISS one time because this girl did something to Dion. I caught her in the science hallway.
Y'all see how crazy Nee was? Thank you.
They said, you made a threat. We're going to have to report it to law enforcement. Okay, my daddy downstairs. Go report it.
I need
What
to
y'all want me to
make sure
do?
I remember this episode so we can go back and play the clip.
Yeah, play the clip. I won't forget. I know what I said. And then my cousin was going through the other stuff. Them girls on Snapchat talking. Oh, you didn't think I was going to message you? What's going on? Scary. You ought to be scared. And like Dion was the only child, and they know he ain't got no siblings. And first of all, he ain't got no sisters. So they thought they was going to play. I am his sister.
Yeah.
What's up? Hello.
Yeah, I
How
did
you
have to
doing?
make that Facebook status that time, but it wasn't even nothing serious.
Yeah, like people be out here
Yeah, because I
playing.
don't really play with my siblings too much. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what Facebook status you're talking about. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like,
Girl, I'm over here like, you made a Facebook status for Dion? Like,
yeah,
get my
yeah,
brain.
nah, you got DR, but like, literally don't play with my siblings too much.
Yeah, like
Like,
I. Mm-mm. And for Michaela, let me tell you something. One time, one. I'm telling this story. One time we was at Mel's house. We pulled up in a bug. We over there. Shay and Mel's brother having a conversation. I'm like, something wrong with Shay, Mel. Like she was acting weird in the car. I asked what was wrong. She was like, nothing. So we snoop. I forgot how it happened. They was having a conversation or something. What we do? Hit outside or something? Was
I
snooping around
remember.
listening. All I heard was such and such did something to me. I got in my bug with Mel. I think we left Shay and Wes. I'm pretty
Girl, I
sure.
barely remember. It's like I remember faintly, but
Got in that bug, drove to that damn high school. Big Keith was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "You better tell that girl that I'm not playing." Okay? I don't play by my sister.
Yeah, no, it's real. You grew up with them, like you just your siblings have your back no matter what. Even sometimes my siblings can be in the wrong, but you ain't gonna pop off crazy. Like, let's
Mm-mm.
get that straight, because it's a way to address things
Yeah, address it.
with some sense.
'Cause I'm
And
not
definitely
playing.
don't take it to social media, and especially when you can be embarrassed yourself. Like, people forget you know them in real life. Like, our town is small as hell. Like, what, who, we know you in real life. Like, I would never
And do.
understand. But not too much on
And
that
do.
topic. But yeah, just don't mess with the siblings. And as far as the
Nah.
men, don't mess with me, and we be good. I'm because I don't
Yeah,
hold
men,
back.
come
I
correct,
actually
please. We don't.
don't hold back on them. Like, literally,
Yeah, no, because it's stupid. It's literally
just
dumb.
grow
So
up. The fact that we
grow
signed
up.
off 10 minutes ago,
We did, but we had to get that off our
we did
chest.
because it was
So
actually important.
it was a story worth telling.
Because people need to know, just don't mess with the siblings. And I never had to do too much with Wes because Quee is, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Quee is
Yeah,
quee.
Quee is Quee.
Quee is quee. Knee is knee. All right, all right.
All
No,
right,
but
all righty. All right, all right, all right.
nah, but there always has to be somebody that's gonna stick up for you.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Shaliqua back in the day,
One thing about it, I remember when Shalika put them pants legs up. She like pulled a little bit,
girl, girl,
and she did that. That little number right there. I don't even know how to do it.
yo.
She was ready. I was like, oh,
I will never forget this time. We went to a party and Shaliqua came with this girl that ended up arguing with Quee by the end of the night. Shaliqua switched on the girl that she came with and ended up leaving with us for the night. I'm like, that's how much Shaliqua do not play with her cousins. And it's just funny to this day. Like, people be like, Shaliqua did not play about her cousins. And she didn't, like, no questions asked. You call Shaliqua, she's going to get there. Even if Shaliqua didn't have a ride, Shaliqua got
pulling
there.
up, pulling up.
Pull up.
I remember she used to get the yelling and getting mad. Oh my gosh. I used to be like, oh no, I'm gonna have to fight with her. Like I'd be so scared. We'd be going to like parties and stuff, yard parties. She get to arguing, shoving. I'm over there like, oh my god, I don't know how to fight. I wasn't angry then, so I didn't have any built up anger. So I'm like, am I gonna be able to fight? Like I was terrified.
Yeah, but I mean, at least from my situation, Shaliqua never expected me to fight. I'll say that. She never.
But I didn't want anybody to jump
Shaliqua
her.
had it. There was never a doubt in my mind.
I mean, yes, this is true.
I feel like even if five came for Shaliqua, she had it.
She would tear their heads
She
up.
would have, and I'm telling you right now, I fully believe that. I'm not even gassing. Like, I 100% believe that. But she never expected me to fight. Like, you know how sometimes that could be a rift. Like, which if my cousin was getting jumped, I'm pretty sure I would step in because I
You would just
actually lose my
naturally
mind
jump
when it
in.
comes to my cousins too. But because you remember that time at the yard party when it got to shooting, I went running to the drama because why are you trying to
No.
hurt my cousin? What was I gonna do? I don't know. But I was ready. But just to say, if something was happening to Shaliqua, I'm pretty sure I would have jumped in, but she literally never expected me to. But 100% she would have handled it by herself.
She could definitely fight, that's for sure. She could definitely fight. Y'all remember when we was in school, everybody's like, my hands registered, I can't fight.
That's never came out my mouth.
Mine either, but that's what they say when I switch
Okay.
districts. My hands registered, I can't fight. Granted, they could have been. They had that little martial arts boxing joint that was like 2 seconds away from the school, but that's what the guys used to be like, my hand registered, I can't fight. I'm like, all right,
Time.
anybody ask you to
The
fight?
guys need to get in more fights because guys getting in fights like actual strong men is like,
I watch some fights when I switch districts
I
now. I'm gonna
bet
tell you
we
that
ain't
right
have
now.
nobody.
I watch some fights. One time Shaliqua dragged me to this fight. When I switched districts, me and Shaliqua was like running everywhere together. And one time Shaliqua was like, come on, we gotta go to the fight. The girl gonna jump the girl at 10:30, I think it was, or something like
Because
that.
why did they
So
have
I'm running.
time?
We running. And we go to the staircase by the entrance. Girl, we get there, Shaliqua pull out her phone. All I see is two girls wrestling, pulling hair, falling down the steps, just fighting down the steps, just tumbling. I'm like, this is what I came to see? Like, this is
And then,
scary.
like, thinking about drama in high school probably was about nothing.
to be
Like
fighting.
literally probably was like, I said I ain't like her hair today. Like, like probably so minor.
I ain't gonna lie. One time I was on a bus, this girl was like, "Yeah, such and such told me you said my makeup be a different skin complexion than my body." I forgot who told her actually.
And people are grimy.
I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you dark skin on the top and pale on the bottom. Like, what do you want me to say? It's different. It doesn't match. What the fuck? It was just stupid. Oh, her name was Brianna. A girl named Brianna told her. That's who told her. What do you want me to do? It just doesn't match. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just stated facts. It was like I was.
Girl, I was not in no business like that. I
Well,
was in my own little world, honestly. I wasn't paying attention.
I was quiet until I switched districts. When I switched districts, but honest to God, like some of them girls were mean. So I would never forget this one girl came up to me. It was my first day. She was in one of the music classes with me. She's like, "Oh, you from the beach?" I was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "Oh, it's ghetto there. Y'all ain't got no running water." I'm not from the. No offense if you from the swamp, but I'm like, I'm not from the swamp. You done lost your damn mind. I was raised on the waterfront and in the meadows, and when we left the meadows, we went out. Don't ever come for me. When she said y'all ain't got no running water,
But why would she have thought that?
I'm telling you, it was like a mindset thing.
But I never thought it was a problem. I mean, I didn't go to that school, so I don't know. But I'm like, I never thought it was a problem because at the end of the day, like
Yeah,
it's what you make of your own life. Everyone comes from shit. Everyone in our area is poor. That's what everyone needs to understand.
we are living in a very impoverished
We're all
area. Like,
poor. No one's making over $200,000 a year.
well, let me say
Well,
this.
that we know that's
Because the people are. But here's the thing: the people that live here, 9 times out of 10, they're not. It's the come here's that make that kind
yeah,
of money.
that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about. I'm talking about
yes,
you
it's
know
the
who
come
we
here's.
talking about. None of us
Mm-hmm.
are making over fucking $200,000 a year. We're fucking poor.
Yeah, real.
And everyone needs to know that. Okay. I don't know why they think. I don't know why they think just having a government job is also mean they made it. I don't understand that equivalent either. Now that I'm older, I'm like, what are we saying?
I feel like the old heads like try to instill that in us, like government job means job security. But I don't really necessarily feel it's that way anymore. I mean, we can all look at the national news and see that it's pretty clear. But it was kind of like if you didn't have a government job, then you wasn't gonna make it type deal. Like that was really their thought process.
But it's
It
literally,
was get out, graduate from school, go get in the government. Like, but
you know,
things have changed within our government, and
even
things have changed
before
within the
that,
way of
it's just
life.
like a government job is not the end all be
End
all.
all
Like
be
it's
all.
not.
Oh my God, we said it at the same
It's
time. End all be all.
it's literally not. And like it's good like if that's the path you chose, but like it really was just like, oh, government job, that's all you need. Like knowing now that I'm older, you could be in the government making $40,000 a year.
You can.
And that's nothing. But as long as you tell someone you have a government job there, like you get praises.
Yep, pretty much. They don't,
Sometimes I just get so angry when I just reflect. Just
you
a
know.
touch of anger, you
But
know?
it's a good anger. It's good to be aware. It's good to know, because that's also like how they used to always also try to make it such a big deal to go to Votech. Like the black people, oh, you need to go get that trade. Go to Votech, get that trade. But I'm like, but what if I don't want that trade? Like, what if I just want to go to college? Well, who gonna pay for it? I don't know. Free money out there from the government at that point, and that's exactly what we ended up doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
shout out to my big ass loan I had to take out to go back to school.
yeah,
Shout it out.
it is crazy, but shout out to loans anyway, federal loans. Okay. I will be enrolled in school until I'm 90 plus years old. I'm gonna tell you that right
Big
now.
facts. Or
I'll
until
get a PhD three
when
times.
I just get to an age where I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
F it. And maybe we'll
Y'all,
one day get something where this shit won't even matter. Like at some point,
I mean, just forgive it. That's
we
what
need the revolution. At this point, and I might be leading the pack. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched a few videos from this weekend. I don't know if you guys are aware, but today's June 15th. Yesterday was June 14th, Mel's birthday, but
Okay, we don't need to bring up who else's birthday.
also other people's birthday. And there were national protests across the world.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, Anne Arundel County. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Anne Arundel. That's over in Maryland. We resided there for a little bit, or I resided there for a little bit. Seeing those two police cruisers escorting that crowd down the street as they were protesting about democracy, I'm telling you right now, I'm not involved in these protests in any way, but it genuinely brought tears to my eyes because I felt like all other videos that I saw of law enforcement was them macing them people, shoving them people, beating them, like arresting them. It was truly the definition of a peaceful protest. The cops were just escorting them, they were chanting, like it brought tears to my eyes. I'm telling you, I don't know why. I was overwhelmed with emotions watching that. And but then seeing all the children that were leading the pack, like children actually screaming in the microphone and everybody repeating the chant after the children, I'm telling you, brought tears to my eyes. I have always heard from prophets that the children from this next generation is going to be a power to be reckoned with. And I believe it. These children are not quiet. I feel like we were silenced as children. As I know I was silenced. If nobody else was silenced, honey, me. And so I don't think I worry about the elders for this generation because these children will not be quiet.
Yeah.
They gonna stand for what they believe. Honestly, them Gen
But that's what
Zs.
we need. That's what I was getting at earlier, is saying like we're in the situation we're in because of the older generation was just
Yeah.
compliant with everything, and like they just, perfect example. These people that I work with hella older people. I'm literally, I
All
think, the
right.
youngest person where I work. They're like up in atoms doing stuff that not in their job description, just trying to help. And I understand like helping out a little, whatever. I'm not going above and beyond if I'm not supposed to. You need to pay me for what you want me to do. The older
Yeah.
people are just running rapid, trying to get all this stuff done, hustling and bustling, and I just cannot put up with that. And I'm like, if you guys actually made it so you only did what was in your job description, they either need to A, hire more people so that gives people more work, or you would have a bigger salary if you get paid to do more things. Not keep
Yeah.
doing stuff for free. Like, this is that was the problem. This generation, first of all, starting with my generation, I feel like we have some people that are like still blinded and do things, but I also feel like the other half of our generation is like, I don't get paid to do that, and I am one
Mm-hmm.
of them. And I started off being like doing extra, like in the military. When I first joined the military, I'm like, why are people so lazy? Why aren't they doing this? I'm like doing this, that, this, which I did get rewarded for things I did in the military. I will say that. But now I'm just collecting that paycheck like everybody else. I'm sitting back like, what? What are we doing?
All right. I
Yeah.
ain't mad at it.
Cause you gotta play them at their own game. I'm big on this now. What?
I
What
mean,
are y'all
yeah, you can't
hustling
be
and
bending over
bustling
backwards.
for? I need to make a sign. Stop the hustling.
Burnout, because burnout is real. I experienced burnout this year.
Y'all, Nee
I've
was
talked.
taking work home
I always took work home though. My
all day,
first,
every day. I couldn't believe it. Like, as far
yeah,
as jobs where it's like fake work, because at this point we all know, I will say my job now really is like, we have a mission to keep something up and running, so I understand that.
yeah,
My job personally, it ain't important personally, but my job, like where I work,
the Gatorade important.
girl, I'll tell y'all that when I don't work there no more. I'll tell y'all that whole
Yeah,
story. But
we're gonna
like,
take that clip. Remember the Gatorade part that I brought up?
girl,
Here it is.
I'm going
Here
to
it is.
remember, don't worry. But there, we all know like there are jobs that are literally make up, like corporate jobs are literally like they're hustling and bustling to do nothing. We see this now. We know people are just sending emails, creating fake problems, and acting like this needs to be solved right away. We all, and if you don't know, these jobs are fake. We are not solving anything. Nothing is happening if this email does not get sent out. Okay? I need everyone to know. And get
Yeah,
y'all's money and don't do anything extra.
pretty much.
Because
Because when you really think about it, I know majority of us now we're salaried workers. I mean, I would at least imagine most of us are salaried workers. But when you really do that math to figure out how much you make hourly, this how much work I'm gonna give you for the hour.
and you
To think that
know
I started working for like what was I, 7.85 an hour? No, 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 I'm lying. My first job ever, I was 7.25, and I was in there slaving in Sears for $7.25 an hour. Folding one shirt would have been equivalent to my 7.25.
we
Putting one cart back would have been
we know
equivalent to
that
my
now.
7.25. I was
And some
dumb.
people knew that back then too. I used to be like, people so lazy, like work.
Girl, hiding in the break room on the
But
clock.
now,
Let me tell you something.
why?
I used to work for
Yeah,
Walmart. Both me and Mel work for Walmart, as y'all
y'all
know.
knee was scared to
Y'all,
death.
y'all, people at Walmart taking multiple 15s, like, and it wasn't even like they was hiding. They would just be sitting out front on a
Y'all, I
15. I'm
was
like,
chilling with knee in the bakery.
nah, no lie. Shout out Donnie. Donnie was the best freaking manager. Donnie was the best freaking manager at Walmart. I loved. Listen, I left jewelry and went to the bakery. I had never baked anything in a
Y'all knee was
commercial
back
oven
there
a day in my
slaving,
life.
baking that bread, putting them slits in the damn bread. I'm like, what's going
Hey,
on back
I
here?
wasn't mad at it though because Donnie let me work good hours.
Yeah, but Nee was stressed. And Nee
Let me
would
tell you
be
something.
so worried about her 15-minute breaks. I'm over there going, my breaks damn near 30 minutes. Because what? 15 minutes is not long enough.
Y'all, no lie. Donnie used to come back there, put that hair down. I'm like, what you doing back here? Melissa just be back. Melissa would literally just be in the bakery with me, and Donnie be like, what you doing? Mind you, she's supposed to be in the back room. He like, what you doing over here? Just chilling. Y'all, he should just look at us, shake his head, be like, y'all
Yeah,
crazy,
that's
and
why
leave out.
Lisa hated my ass at first. She hated my guts. We turned out to be real cool. Because I did
Love
my
Miss
work once
Lisa.
I got started, though. I did what I needed to do. But
Y'all, Mel would come over there, put the hairnet on, and just roll in the back. Like, y'all, we just was doing anything on. Y'all, one time, I the Tiger came on.
Roar by Katy Perry.
Oh yeah, roar, roar. I've got the eye of the tiger. Yo, I had a little twerk to that
Girl,
joint back there.
that shit was funny as hell.
We used to be having the time of our lives.
Girl, and
And then one time this boy messed with Mel, and I picked up the knife and was like, do you want me to hurt him or not? And I meant business.
girl, my heart was broken over my little Walmart thing.
Girl, murder at
I was
Walmart.
so sad.
What was it going to be? Murder on plane.
Girl, girl. I ain't never been that down bad over a man.
Yo, my friend was hurting and I was not
I
playing.
was
It's always Walmart.
crying in that back room, y'all. Actually
I'm like,
crying.
Mel, you don't have to cry. It's okay. Oh,
That was my first heartbreak, y'all. I didn't know what was going on.
that first one hurt. I'm going to tell you right.
Leave me
It don't
alone.
and listen, the first heartbreak hurt and it don't get easier with time. I'm gonna tell you right now, it just hurt and hurt and hurt.
No, it get. I mean, what do you mean get easier with time?
No, heartbreaks
Oh, like if you a
over the
new
years.
man.
Yeah,
Okay,
new
yeah,
man.
yeah,
It
yeah.
never gets
If
easier.
you're
It's like always the
invested,
same feeling.
I don't.
When you think about it, it's an addiction. Like your body is craving
Yeah,
that individual. You become addicted to that individual. So you have withdrawals. It's just like somebody being on a drug.
yeah. Cause only the Walmart guy and the Haitian guy. Those are only two heartbreaks. I don't need any more heartbreaks. I'm telling you, like I'm liable. Just leave me alone. I don't even want to say it.
Okay,
Cause just
yeah,
leave
yeah,
me
yeah.
alone.
We don't want Mel to show her crazy side.
No, I done said it multiple times. That's the only time I get crazy when a man mess with me because I feel like I am just a very open and honest person. If I'm talking to multiple people, I have no problem telling a guy I talk to multiple people. If I'm not feeling you, I'm going to tell you I'm not feeling you. I'm not going to drag anybody along. That's not even in my nature. So I just expect the same in return. And first of all, but I really just feel like I'm not getting to that point anymore. Like if someone's actually playing games, because you just know the signs when someone's playing games. Like let's be real at this point. It's not that hard to see. When you're young, you're just dumb. But like being in our 30s,
This also just reminds me too of why like I'm not too pressed on having any more kids because you really got to help a kid through a heartbreak. Like nobody helped me through my heartbreak.
I was in my
I mean,
room with the TV off in the dark, curtains closed,
yeah.
That's it.
And don't tell no black parent you're heartbroken. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Quee came in the room one time. I was crying. She's like, "What's wrong with you, girl?"
Yeah. I cried every single day.
Every
Watched Notebook 365 days out of the
girl, I
year,
couldn't even
crying
turn the
every day
TV on.
on repeat.
Kid, I never want to experience that again.
Crying.
But yeah,
Crying.
to help a child through a heartbreak, I can't even imagine. But it's okay. I'll stick with Ken's when it happened because it's bound to happen. Let's be real. It's a part of
Yes.
life.
It
I'll be
is.
like, I already got it prepared.
Okay. Fuck that
And
nigga.
and do you want
Nah,
me to
it
go
is.
cuss him out for you? Because I'll probably be the crazy auntie by then. So
Ain't nothing wrong with being a crazy aunt. Aunts ride for their kids.
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
you got to.
Anyway, good aunts. Because not every aunt or uncle is a good aunt or uncle.
This is true.
So let's just put it there. But yeah, no.
Okay, are we wrapping up for good this time? I think.
Okay, yeah, we're wrapping up for real because we said we were wrapping up
Yeah, we have
and
a whole like
never.
outro in the at like an hour and 3 minutes.
We did. Um, just ignore the outro.
A good outro too. We started talking about Ti. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Oh, side note, we were supposed to go see Friday, but he canceled. Yeah.
Sorry, Friday.
And he canceled Richmond. Did they protest in Richmond?
They were protesting everywhere.
I didn't see anything about Richmond though.
June 14th. We going down in history, baby.
I was emotional watching them videos up there
Gemini
crying.
gang, gang, gang. But
Crying.
but I don't know why his birthday had to be on my birthday. Cause what?
You have the same birthday as Mr. President? Dear Mr. President,
Hey, were you
come take
alone?
a
I was just
walk
say,
with
were you a
me.
lonely boy? Cause
Let's
when
pretend.
Pink,
I actually might add that to my
the
playlist.
one
I
by Pink
love
or
that
Kiana
song.
Lede.
Pink,
Yeah.
but I like both.
But Pink's just hit a little hard because
It does.
she was
That
not
rasp
fucking
in
with
her voice
Bush.
and the no, she wasn't. And it's funny to hear as an adult, I think to hear who that song was written for is kind of funny because y'all know they portrayed George Bush as like the worst of the worst,
And
and like you,
looking back at footage, I honestly just think that man don't have no sense. I don't think he was actually doing stuff like being a
it's
master.
a touch of
I don't
tism.
think he was being a mastermind or anything. I
It's a touch of tism. Oh no! Oh no! He had a touch of
like
tism.
looking back,
No.
and I don't want to put this on the record because I haven't looked at a lot of footage, but just looking at some of the footage, I'm like, this man just looks like it's rattles in the brain. I don't. It just look like not
Yo,
much.
he's be over there
Yeah,
smiling.
it just looks like not a much going on up there. I don't know, but yeah, that's what's funny. Now this new one, I don't.
Here come the haters.
They're idiots, man. They don't even know what they're talking about. All these illegal immigrants are taking all of our jobs. Back the blue. Hell.
Girl, at one point in time, I used to mock them people on and be like, I ain't gonna do it, but I used to talk
Oh,
about back in
blue.
the blue. Girl, they used to be back in the blue. Mind you, my parents in the blue, but I wasn't screaming like that.
All
I'm say
lives
right now.
matter. Shoot.
We got an aunt that be like, all lives matter. I ain't gonna
We
say her
don't
name.
have all need at all.
She be quick to say all lives matter. And just for the record, for y'all who watch it, who may feel a certain way or who may have voted in this
Give a
recent
fuck.
presidential election, let me tell y'all something. I am never one of them people who vote based off of emotion. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm not voting for somebody just because everybody else voting for them. I'm voting with sense. So please don't get on here and act like we voted for black people just because we black. Because I know they mindset.
Girl, I don't give a fuck if I voted for them because they black.
I ain't gonna lie, I
There
was on
is
the phone with Shady the other day, and
evil
I was like,
amongst us.
y'all, I was on the phone with Shay the other day, and I was actually telling Shay, when Governor Youngkin and Governor Terry McAuliffe, well, when Terry McAuliffe and Youngkin ran for governor, I was like, yeah, I actually voted for Governor Youngkin, and Shay was like, what? He's a Republican for y'all who don't know, and I'll probably clip this out, but whatever. So anyway, Shay was like, what? Why did you vote for him? And I was like, cuz Terry McAuliffe was like trying to mandate COVID vaccines, and I wasn't getting that nonsense. And Shay was like, so you're an anti-vaxxer? You're just like all the other, like, going off. And I'm like,
Girl.
Shay, it's okay to vote not based off of emotion and what everybody else voted for. I'm like, if I personally didn't want to get the vaccine, then I'm not getting the vaccine. Shay was like, you're just like everybody else. So when everybody's sick and dying, like you were a part of the problem. Okay, then I guess I was just a part of the problem. Like, why would I change? Did you vote for that man? Because Terry McAuliffe was actually trying to make teachers work harder, and they had a nerve to say after the conversation, yeah, Governor Youngkin actually hasn't been that bad. We knew this, Shay. If you would have read his stuff, we would have known he wasn't that
Ooh.
bad. Like,
Yeah. Oh. Her and
I just forgot. I forgot.
she might have changed. I don't know. I haven't seen her say anything else.
I actually saw her over the weekend.
But yeah, it's like a strange world. But we also could keep that part of when you said people listening, it might say, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And
I ain't
like,
gonna lie though. I gotta tell this story though. This is funny. Okay, so on election day this year, my previous student came into my classroom and was like, "It's election day," and I was like, "I know." And, in kindergarten we teach about the standard of like the president and all that good jazz or whatever. So, anyways, when he came in, he was like, "My dad says that today's a good day because we get to vote or whatever." And I was like, "Well, that's good." And he was like, "Well, who did you vote for?" And I said, "Well, I actually didn't vote this time around. I was like, I'm undecided if I'm gonna vote or not." I was like, "And if I do, it'll be after work." And so I was like, or if I do, it would have been after work or whatever. And or this was the day before election day, I think. He was like, "Well, my dad said it shouldn't be that hard because we all know who to vote for." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like it." And he was like, "My dad said we're supposed to vote for Kamala Harris." I'm like, "Oh, your daddy get down like that?" Like it actually shocked the shit
I thought this
out
was
of
going
me.
the other direction.
No, girl, but it shocked me. Like I'm not kidding,
Well,
it
if you
shocked
just have
me.
a teeny bit, teeny bit of sense.
I was like, yeah. It shocked me. I know he went home and was like, Miss that she didn't vote. She didn't know who. He probably was like, from is living there. But yeah, no, he said that I was mind blown. But from an educator standpoint, I understand because usually educators vote Democratic. So that's pretty typical
I
of
mean,
us. Or for most, I should say. Research wise, that's what it says. But yeah, he said that. He's like, well, my dad said it shouldn't be hard. We should know who to vote for. I'm like, oh, who they vote
and
for?
then a whole bunch of people voted for Trump, and then he out here taking their family members, and now they're all on TikTok saying, "I didn't think that was going to happen." Do we got the crickets sound?
Did we not read Project 2020?
It's like I just cannot understand what's happening. And then like every time I log on Facebook, that's when I don't even know why I log on there. That's
Getting
where I need to
that.
stay off of. But the fact that people try to justify voting for him and they're like, because he has stuff against transgenders or whatever. And they're like, oh, you wanted these people to be playing with your kids, this and that, whatever, their little ignorant sayings. But I'm like, so you're justifying everything that's going on because you have a problem with transgenders. I just want to understand. You didn't look at anything else. You just knew he was against transgenders.
They get worked up behind that and then pronouns. I'm like, it doesn't really, stuff like that does not bother me. Like, I'm very much unfazed. I'm
Well,
like,
in our little small town, who's bothering you? Do you know something we don't know? Are you going out of your way? I think you're going out of your way to find transgenders. I don't know.
yeah, because I've never seen a transgender here. Never.
But they feel
Unless it's,
very, and I'm like,
unless it's something we don't know about.
but why do you feel so strongly? Like, I just never understood why people don't like gay people, why it bothers them. Why does a transgender bother you personally? Why is it bothering you? Even if you're very religious, they have to answer to whatever they have to answer to. That's their journey. Why are you in people's business?
Fighting them
Same,
demons.
same with abortion. Mind your business.
Heavy on mind your business. Because 9 times out of 10, they done had one. I'm going to tell you that right now.
But I'm like, everything goes into this.
Learned from somebody that I thought was holier than thou.
That they had one. And I'm just like, if someone has an abortion, first of all, I don't even know this person. I could be standing next to a person that had an abortion. What is that doing to me? But they feel very passionately about it. I don't
They
know. I'm
do.
just trying to understand.
It's
I just
crazy.
want to understand. I just want to know why it bothers you. That's all I want to know.
Maybe they'll drop it in the
I just
comments.
all I want to know is why it bothers them so much. Not
Well,
like because God said this and that. No. Okay, we got that. But why does it bother you? That's not your journey. Okay. No. I just want to. I'm still
yeah,
waiting on Facebook for the Trump supporters to be saying why.
they're not gonna say anything.
They literally bypass all the wrongdoings to just like, even if he does one thing of greatness, one little thing.
Girl, when they got that TikTok back, a thank you to President Trump.
When he pardoned the Chrisleys, everyone's on Facebook like, look, Trump did something amazing. He got the Chrisleys out of jail.
Grateful that I was not on social media around the time of the election. Granted, I mean, let me not say that. I wasn't on Facebook around the time of the election, so I didn't see all the nonsense. And I'm kind of glad because I don't know that I had the patience to read that. And
Uh,
all right, guys, sorry. I know we said earlier we were signing off and we didn't sign off, but now we're actually signing off.
yes.
So until next time,
The chaos never ends. I'll
yes.
be having to think about it.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
you guys. Bye.
America. Bye.
What?